I wanted to show you this. That's why I brought the camera. So for the vacuum line, I bought this stuff from Utah Pneumatic on Amazon. It was like $15 for 25 feet. And it's a 1/4 inch, or no, excuse me, an 1/8 inch inside diameter. It's the same diameter as the water methanol. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, I wish I went down one more size, because it would have been easier to get through that firewall. May not be the best lighting in the world, but it gives you an idea where it's coming through at. So to get the cover off, you can see these little pieces of plastic right there. And you figure you could put your screwdriver right in there and pop out the little insert. But you can see what I did there. When I went to get the screwdriver underneath there, they crack. So you thought, so I'm just like, you know, don't try doing that if you're gonna, it's just gonna crack on you. Turns out when you look a little bit closer here, this boot here, it's just on with, see, the boot just comes up. To get this harness off, these little clips right here, pull them towards the steering wheel, and then you can wiggle this off. So looks like you got to get that off the intake box. So to give you an idea how that comes off. So to get the air intake off, 10 millimeter. I showed you that came off. Right here was a pain though. That little hole right there, there's a rubber, piece of rubber there, that like a donut, that gets wedged into there. So here's the hose I was looking to get to, this guy here. I'm going to take him off and cut a hole in it. And that's where the nozzle is going to go for the injection. Now, one of the things that you're thinking about is, oh, well, why don't I just put the vacuum line off of here, which is handy. The only trouble is, you're going to be spraying water methanol in here, and then if you have your vacuum hose here, then you're going to be sending all that water vapor down your vacuum line. You know, with it under boost, that's going to be like spraying. So that blows that idea. The only other thing you could do if you want it to come off of here and tap into here, then put a block valve in it. So when it's under, that won't work either. I was going to say when it's under boost you could block it, but then you wouldn't get the signal back to the snow methanol unit. So I took a second here for you to actually measure the diameter of that hose. So your hose will be one inside diameter of 6 millimeters. I'm sorry. So if you got a 6 millimeter hose, and 1, 2, 3, almost 1/4 of an inch, but 6 millimeter inside diameter vacuum hose is what you're looking for. So there it is. What I ended up doing was, to tighten it, I had, naturally this guy, it's kind of hard to show, but this is how I did it. I had this guy on the outside turning, and then while I was doing that, I reached in there to the male stud and put torque on it so it would get pushed up in there. And then when it was pushing up in there, then I just give it like a 1/2 turn, 1/4 of a turn, take it out and look at it. So that's beautiful. See how the clamp lines up with the lip there? Same here. And notice that the nuts towards the headlight. But look what I did. I should look twice where my fingernail polish was. because I'm actually down underneath here, but you know what? Actually, I might be better off down there because I can come straight out right underneath. So I went ahead and put that goop on the number 4. I think the number 4, if I recall, look at the chart, is for up to 18 or 21 psi. So that's what we need. So I got that one way. Hopefully it's in the right direction. I think it is. Got that guy in. If you remember, this is what the battery goes on to, so I kept it there. And then naturally it goes back under there. I think what this one-way valve does, it's like a garden hose that's full. You'll always have fluid up to this point here, versus a garden hose with the nozzle open all the time. You know, there's no water in the hose. Then when you go to give it fluid, you got to fill up this hose, which is a delay. So it keeps fluid up to this point. That's my guess. You get him in, that guy right there, that piece of rubber for the air box. You get it in like 11 o'clock, you see the top of the lip come over. And then what you got to do is you got to wiggle it. And then finally the rest of the donut will pop through the hole there. So there's the picture of the firewall. You can see the red one going up with the with the wires. And then the vacuum, I punched it. Now, when you punch that hole through that rubber grommet, don't go straight east or west. Go in and downward, like a submarine diving. Because what happens then is, when you punch the hole, it actually comes out where the red hose goes through, and all the other wires. The 2 screws off to this, thinking it would be helpful. It was in a way. It still got cut on my hand though. You need small hands. If you got big hands, you're gonna have to find somebody with small hands to wrestle that in back there. Getting the screws back in for this is a bear. You'll see what I mean. So what I always do when I have troubles, I'll get some electrical tape and I'll just tape the bolt right onto the 10mm socket in this case. Tighten it in and then just pull it out. That way you don't have to worry about it dropping, but never hurts to put a towel underneath there. So that's looking at it with the engine, with the steering wheel to the top of the camera. That way. Once I get in, oh, I got to put that clamp back on too. But you can see how it went in there. So I got the vacuum hose hooked up. There was actually nothing that I could find fitting wise. I could go from that brake lining 1/4 inch vacuum hose that I was using. But one of the reasons why I used it is up under the engine compartment, it could withstand that high temperature. Whereas you get this stuff under the temperature with that turbo and everything, I don't know if that can handle the heat. And one thing though, for this blue tubing here to get this to go on easily, is hit it with a torch. Just like that. And then, you know, at the tip here rather, I'm just trying to show you how it turns on. And that softens it up, and then this slides right over it really easy. Now over that, get that nibble on there, because I don't think WD-40 will get over it. You know, help it get put on, you know what I mean. Alright, so if you notice, that guy is missing the fittings. So guess what just showed up today? The fittings. So